Highlights from today's NBA games. Highlights from today's NBA games. Highlights from the NBA games played on Monday, Tuesday at Cavaliers 140 beat Wizards 135, overtime. Kyrie Irving scored 11 of his 23 points in overtime, including a tie-breaking three-pointer with 35 seconds left, as the Cleveland Cavaliers edged the Washington Wizards 140-135 in a playoff-type atmosphere on Monday night, Tuesday at the loud, sellout crowd was standing, and so were the players on both benches, when LeBron James somehow missed a gimme layup late in the fourth quarter. Moments later, he banked in a maximum degree of difficulty, step-back three-pointer with 0.3 seconds left to send the game to overtime, where he fouled out and Irving took over for Cleveland. James finished 32 points and a career-high 17 assists. Kevin Love had 39 points and 12 rebounds for the Eastern Conference leaders, who ended surging Washington's winning streaks of 17 in a row at home and 7 in a row overall. Heat 115 beat Timberwolves 113. Goran Dragic scored 33 points and hit a career-high 7 three-pointers to lead Miami to their 11th successive victory. Hassan Whiteside had 19 points and 13 rebounds, and the Heat shot 53.6%, 15 for 28, from three-point range. Miami made 10 more threes than Minnesota and held on late after a furious comeback attempt by the Wolves. Karl-Anthony Towns had 35 points and 8 rebounds for the Timberwolves, who have lost 4 straight games. Grizzlies 89 beat Spurs 74, Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph scored 15 points each, Mike Conley added 12 points and 9 assists, and Memphis held San Antonio to a season low in points. The Spurs ended a 3-game winning streak and suffered through the absence of leading scorer Kawhi Leonard, a late scratch with a quad contusion. Patty Mills failed to score in 15 minutes of court time. Pacers 93 beat Thunder 90, Paul George had 21 points and 8 rebounds, Jeff Teague scored 17 points, and Indiana rallied from an 11-point halftime deficit to beat Oklahoma City. Indiana have won 7 successive games, their longest winning streak in almost 2 years. Russell Westbrook led Oklahoma City with 27 points, a season-high 18 rebounds and 9 assists, falling just short of his 26th triple-double this season. Raptors 118 beat Clippers 109, DeMar DeRozan had 31 points, and Toronto overcame a triple-double from Blake Griffin to beat Los Angeles. Griffin, who had his 5th career triple-double and first of the season in 3 quarters, finished with 26 points, 11 rebounds and 11 assists. It wasn't enough to prevent the Clippers from a 3rd straight defeat against the Raptors and their 7th in 8 games in Toronto. Jazz 120 beat Hawks 95. Gordon Hayward scored 30 points and Utah broke open a close game with 10 straight points in the 3rd quarter to beat Atlanta. The Jazz led by only 3 points early in the second half before a basket by George Hill, who had 22 points, started the decisive 10-0 run. Hill had 2 3-point plays to close the run. Dennis Schroeder led Atlanta with 21 points. Australians Joe Ingles and Dante Exum combined for 13 points for Utah. Lakers 121 beat Knicks 107, Lou Williams scored 22 points. Nick Young had 17, and Los Angeles handed New York an embarrassing defeat to stop a 12-game losing streak on the road. Julius Randle and Brandon Ingram added 14 points apiece for the struggling Lakers, who won for only the 3rd time in 13 games overall. Carmelo Anthony led the Knicks with 26 points. Kristaps Porzingis and Brandon Jennings each had 16. Pelicans 111 beat Suns 106. Anthony Davis capped his 34-point night with a key rebound and 6 made free throws in the final half-minute. Jrue Holiday scored 5 of his 30 points in the last minute and a half, and New Orleans ended a 4-game slide with a victory over Phoenix. E'Twaun Moore scored 12 points for the Pelicans, who led by as many as 10 in the first half but found themselves behind for much of the 4th quarter until Davis and Holiday took over late. Nuggets 110 beat Mavericks 87, Will Barton scored 31 points, connecting on 5 3-pointers, and Denver overcame the absence of 3 starters to beat Dallas. Gary Harris added 20 points and Wilson Chandler had 14 points and 10 rebounds for the Nuggets, who were without forward Danilo Gallinari because of a left groin strain and guard Emmanuel Mudiay due to a recurrence of lower back injury. Pistons 113 BT 76 ERS 96, Andre Drummond had 16 points and 17 rebounds, and Detroit pulled away at the start of the third quarter for an easy victory over Philadelphia. Detroit had 7 players in double figures, including Australian center Aaron Baines who scored 12, to go with 7 rebounds.